those of you who don't know me, I'm Jonathan Payton, and I know that is there anybody out here who lives in Marana, Oro Valley, Saddlebrook, Northern Pima County? Raise your hand. Anybody here who knows someone who lives in those districts? Raise your hand. People ask me all the time, where is CD1? And what is CD1? After a lot of the guys that are in there finish speaking, and the election is over, in the special election for Congressional District 8, the current CD8 is going to split. There's going to be a huge chunk that's going to be here in the Midtown area. That's Congressional District 2. And there's going to be another district that's going to be Northern Pima County, and it's going to go all the way from Marana to the Utah border along the eastern edge of Arizona. That's called Congressional District 1. It's currently represented by Paul Gosar. He's leaving to run in a different district. Now people ask me all the time, where do we get a crazy district like this? I'll tell you where you got it. You got it from the Democrats on the Arizona Independent Redistricting Commission. They're the ones who created this district. You know why? Because they wanted to make CD2 more of a Democratic district. So they took all the Republicans in Oro Valley and Marana and Saddlebrook and they put them up north. But I'll tell you something. I talked to a Democratic elected official, and that person told me, he said, you know what, we fought for these districts. We fought to get the districts drawn the way we wanted them to. But you know what? We have a problem because we don't have any good candidates running in these districts. I'll tell you this, the problem is not the fact that they don't have the lines that they want. The problem is not the fact that they don't have the candidates that they want. The problem is the Democrats don't have good ideas to run on for Congress or for president or for anything else for that matter. I made two big decisions last month. My girlfriend told me, she said, you can run for Congress, you can run for president, you can run for whatever you want, but there better be a ring on my finger when you make that decision. So, last month I got engaged. I'm going to be married after the election because the second decision I made was to run for Congress, to be your Congress member from Congressional District 1 against Ann Kirkpatrick. This is an important election that we're facing. And you're going to hear a lot of issues in this election. You're going to hear a lot about immigration. You're going to hear a lot about spending. You're going to hear about all these different issues. But I got news for you. The biggest issue that's threatening America is not immigration. The biggest issue that's threatening America is not even spending. The biggest issue in America today is this constant assault on the Constitution of the United States by this president, because they are destroying our way of life in this country. So I look at it, I see what's going on, and I talk to people all the time. How many veterans do we have out there right now? Raise your hand. I'm an Army officer. I'm in the Army Reserve now. I served in Iraq. And like a lot of you, I swore an oath to protect and defend not a president, not a Congress, but the Constitution of the United States. Yes. I was telling you a little bit about my girlfriend. It's interesting because a lot of the men in the audience will sympathize with this. I would be walking through the mall, and I don't know what would happen, but like a magical power would possess her, and we would end up in this place called Tiffany's. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it before. And we were looking at rings, and we see these diamonds in the display case. And those diamonds, we would look at them, and she would admire them, and she would say, wow, maybe this is the right diamond, or that's the right diamond. And each of these diamonds, they were kind of like multiple mortgage payments in my mind every time I saw them. There was another store in the mall, and that store was kind of like Tiffany's, but it was more like Tiffany's scruffy little sister. And we went in there, and we looked at the diamonds there, and there was a big, huge diamond. like an Elizabeth Taylor-sized rock. And I looked at it and I said, wow, Angie, look at that. And it's only $100. And she said, you know what, Jonathan? The reason it's only $100 is because it's fake. There are an awful lot of counterfeiters out there. There's an awful lot of fakes out there. There's an awful lot of imposters out there. And there's an awful lot of counterfeit conservatives out there. And many of them are going to be running for office in this next election cycle. They've been Democrats this entire time. But you know what? They have a baptism into conservatism the day that election rolls around. You know what I like about the diamond? You know what's unique about the diamond? It's not the fact that it's so beautiful. It's the fact that the diamond is a piece of carbon that's deep in the earth. And year after year, decade after decade, century after century, you're putting pressure on that diamond, on that piece of carbon. And when you pull it out and you cut it, it becomes one of the most beautiful things in the world, but it's also the hardest thing in the world because it's resisted that pressure all that time. And when you cut it and you see that brilliance, you see the purity and clarity inside. We need people running for Congress that have purity of principle and have clarity of mind running in this United States of ours. It's too important. The veterans out there, you swore an oath. You swore an oath to protect and defend this Constitution. And we've got a president right now that is just systematically destroying everything that we believe in as a nation. And the biggest thing right now, as a soldier, I look at it and I see that he is reducing our troops by 50%. Nothing's safe. Not your Army, not your Navy, not your Air Force, not your Marines, not your money, nor your property, not your liberty, not your livelihoods, not your responsibilities, and not your right. Not even the Constitution of the United States is safe. Because if it were safe, we wouldn't even be here right now. You wouldn't be listening to me. There wouldn't even be a tea party if our Constitution was safe. So what do you do when someone tries to take something from you? What do you do when someone tries to steal something from you? You take it back. When they take away your property or your money, what do? You take it back. What do you do when they take away your liberty or your rights? You take it back. What do you do when they take away your responsibility or your rights? Take it back. And what do you do when they take away your Constitution on the first Tuesday in November? You take it back. That's what you need to do. Now I'm talking to you right now, and I see a lot of people out there, and we know something is fundamentally true. In the conservative movement, there is a huge division right now waiting for this primary. I'm not asking you to vote for one candidate or another. But the fact of the matter is, we know that in a few short months, we are going to be facing one of the biggest elections in our lifetimes in this generation. And if we don't come together as a conservative movement, if we don't come together and heal, I guarantee you, we will be divided and we will be crushed in this next election. I can't do it for you. But I'll tell you this, if you have a choice, you can either stand here and you get the tar beat out of you, or you can stand and take this country back. I tell you this, I can't do it for you. I'm running for Congress. I learned the hard way. It is not politicians, it's not members of Congress, it's not candidates who win elections. It's the people who win elections. You're the ones who win elections. You're the ones who win or lose. It all comes down to the votes. We all know that. You vote the right way or the wrong way, you vote one way or the other, you end up getting Rasa Studies. You vote the wrong way, you end up getting Rio Nuevo. The fact of the matter, the votes come down to the people out here right now. The answers for the problems in this country that we're facing are the people out here right now. You're in every part of a campaign, every election, every vote. And in the conservative movement, we fight for those votes. The conservative movement, we fight it all out in the primaries for those votes. Because we know when you add up all those votes, it's going to make the difference, not between winning or losing, but in a very real way between liberty and tyranny. When I swore that oath to that uniform, that duty did not go away the day I no longer wore the uniform. It continues on, as it does for many of you. For over 200 years, our forefathers fought. They gave their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor for your right to vote. It all comes down to you, ladies and gentlemen. It all comes down to you for working for candidates that you believe in, working for things that you believe in, working to make this country great. And I guarantee you, if you look at the person next to you, you're going to find someone who's willing to fight for this community. You're going to find someone who's willing to fight for this state. And most importantly, you're going to find someone who's willing to fight for that most sacred document, the Constitution of the United States.
Right.
I'm Jonathan Payton. I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 1. I'm asking for your vote. Thank you very much. And on the first Tuesday in November, let's take this country back. Thank you very much.